I don't think this thing's gonna move, man. I don't think you're gonna be able to hammer this in. That's crazy, dude.
Oh, I'm a fucking hammer.
You're just gonna fucking pull the sides in.
Nah, it won't. It'll stretch.
All right, man.
Done it before.
This is crazy. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna beat the
Dude,
shit out of your fucking trans tunnel.
we're not even gonna have a trans tunnel after this.
Yeah, we will. We may have, if we want, we can cut it, but I want to lay down and do it.
Oh my god.
This is the size I need, dude.
That's gonna be the heaviest.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna fucking send it.
This is the one I was looking for.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Dude,
Yeah.
this is not a good idea.
Dude, we need to get the heat shield out of the way. Dude,
Oh, just give it a test hit. Give
dude,
it a test
watch,
hit.
watch. I'll do this one right here again. Watch this, dude.
Hold on, let me get the reference here for the camera.
Watch this, dude. Ready?
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
I told you. I told you we're gonna clearance it. Go get me a.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Touch that front section.
Yeah, like up here, I already moved it
Yeah,
up a
if you
good
can-
5-6 mil, easy.
Yeah.
With not a lot of hits.
So that area is probably good, but this
Yeah.
area back here's got that fat.
It's fine. I'll beat it.
You
It's
know.
not a big deal. Got a big
And
ass
then
lid.
this area right here that's not
We're gonna
covered,
cut- yeah, we'll cut
that's
it
gonna
out.
be cut out.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
And then do you see where those 4 bolts are back? There's 4.
Yeah.
There's 4 screws.
These right here.
That's gonna have to all get cut out. We're gonna have to relocate the fire suppression. Like that's just
Yeah.
a plate with the thing that you pull on, and then all this will be with that actuator area, and we'll reverse mount the actuator.
All right. Well,
And then we'll get Wilson to make a.
get out of the
custom
way, and
wreck.
I'll beat
I
on
want
it.
to see the beat, bro.
All right. Zoom out. Get out of the way. Ready?
Yep.
Yeah, dude. You want to try and test fit it? See if it fits.
All right, guys, we're back up under the car, and here's Tim.
Yeah, hey, what's up? So we just got done beating the shit out of his trans tunnel.
So we literally beat the ever-living shit out of the trans tunnel, and I can stick my whole hand over top of the transmission. You can see, follow it down here, the adapter plate. You can see the gap right here because we don't have a plate in here, but we've got the input shaft
centered in the hole.
centered in the hole, and that's basically what we need. And the plate's only 10 millimeters thick, so you know it's going to move in about a ½ inch. We're going to wait till we have the adapter plate to be able to figure out where we're going to cut for the shifter. And so basically we're going to reverse mount this paddle shift actuator, which has never been done. We're going to make a mount back here. We're going to cut this out, which we can do from the top of the car. Cut this section out, make a mount on here to hard mount the actuator so it can fire against the rear of the trans. And then we're going to cut out the hole saw under the car right in front of the original factory hole. We might have to trim the dash a little bit, but it's probably such a low profile we won't have to worry about it. Get the -3 +3 degree angle that you want, you know, complementary for each. Then you just run a CV joint. You put a CV joint on the drive shaft.
Progress
You know
was
what I'm
made
saying?
today.
Yo, progress was made today.
Transmission tunnel's clearance.
And then we come over here to our brakes. We had to do a slight clearance on the brakes, but we're gonna have to replace the bolts. We did a little bit of grinding on the caliper. Fits perfect now with 10 millimeters of spacer. But it's still got a little bit of poke on it. So what I'm gonna do is, since this is spaced out 10 millimeters to clear, we're just gonna get a barrel or a lip that's a ½ inch smaller. This is a 4-inch lip, so we'll get a 3.5 inch lip. Put a 3.5 inch lip on the wheel, which moves the wheel in. And then with our spacer, we clear the caliper. That brings us right back where we were before the spacers. And then on the inside, we put a new barrel, and we're gonna extend that either back out a ½ millimeter to make up for the ½ millimeter we took out on the outside, or if we want to get crazy and run like, you know, a 315 or maybe a 335 or something nuts, we'll just add, you know, another 1.5 inches or 2 inches to the inside. Then we can get some more meat in there. We're almost there, but I'd rather do it the right way. you know, rebuild the rear wheels, get the flush fitment we want. That way, if we compress a little too far or go over a bump or something, we don't have to worry about blowing the tire off by hitting the fender. So, man, it's almost game time. So there you go. You can see where we're gonna have to drill a little bit of a hole, get that actuator to come through, and we'll be set, man. All right, man, thanks.
Oh yeah, no worries.
So I've got the calipers back on. I've repainted where I've grinded them down. Had Andrew Hooks do the clearancing. All right, so we just got to Empire Speed Company. This is Andrew Hook's shop, buddy of mine, Alabaster, Alabama. He does everything here, fabrication, painting, anything you name it, man. He's awesome. This is his shop. He's back here milling the brackets down for us so we can get the clearance we need. So we're taking out a little bit off the caliper because we want to make sure that we can get away with only a 12mm spacer, so that when we move the wheel backwards 12 millimeters, we have no problems. And
we do not condone this sort of behavior, but
Bye.
what'd you do?
I just adjusted the pilot air screw on it. He says it's got some junk in the carb, so I just ran it in, then ran it right back out to the same spot, and I drained the bowl, the fuel in the bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe it had some junk in it. We'll see. If it gets better, cool. If not, we'll go from there.
Oh shit. So you can see there's not really any part of the structural part of the caliper. A little bit right here, but I'm not really too worried about it. Repainted them, and then I'm putting these 12-point bolts in. I think they look nicer, first of all, and they're a lot better profile, so clearance is much better. You can see how big this is, and this is kind of ugly. I don't know, it just looks kind of silly. But this is a higher grade bolt. It's a, you can see where I like lost a piece of my thumb here. But you can see that this is actually a 12.9, which is a higher quality, stronger bolt, and it's a hell of a bolt to try to grind through. It's a little bit long. I have to cut about this much off. So I'm doing it over here. Got this carbide tipped Sawzall with my little floor vise. You just got to make stuff work, you know. Cut off the ends. That gives me the length that I need. Throw it in the caliper. I'm on the last one here. Get the clearance we need, and we're ready to go. Now the reason why I have this nut on here is so when you back the nut off, it cleans the threads up. Then you don't have to sit there and recut them. Because when you, when you cut the bolt off at the threads, it can kind of cause a little bit of an issue with getting the threads to work properly again. But if you have a nut on there first and then back the nut off, works fine. So let's do that. Let's put our last one in the caliper, and then we're gonna paint these bolts. So, got the calipers finished up now, finalized, and this is the final product. Came in and hand painted them to match. Grind to fit, paint to match. So everything feels really rigid and solid. I'm not really worried about it. You guys do what you want. I don't really care. You know, I want to see these wheels on the car, and like I said, I'm not really concerned about it. I mean, you can tell me all day long about how I should do it properly or whatever, but
You know, it's my car, so you guys do what you want with yours. But I think it's gonna be sick to see one of the only FDs with a Brembo rear kit with a 330 plus millimeter rotor running 4 piston calipers in the back on 17-inch, 18-inch step lips. So this is what it took, and we're gonna get it worked out. I'm waiting on these to dry. I'm gonna pop them on the car, gonna get the final look, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the brake lines. We're in business now. So this is the rear wheel all mounted up. This is exactly what it's gonna look like, 13 millimeters of spacer. Like I said, we might add another mil or two, just depending on the clearance. But you can see, just barely clears right there. Barely clears right there. It's just enough to make up for wheel bearing. Calipers loaded. Everything's looking beautiful. So this is the outer lip from the front wheel.